Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Three P's on the Pod. I am one of your hosts. I'm L.B.Shari.
KellyBDasMe.
Jametrice Thomas.
All right, ladies, we are recording on a Sunday morning. Anybody got any fantastic plans for the day?
Cleaning and basking in the rain. It is storming like crazy here. I ain't mad at it though. It's a regular Sunday. I'm sure
We
Jametrice?
it's
had a little rain, just a little rain, little
Okay.
sprinkle here and there.
All right, we won't hold y'all up. We'll hop into the topics of the day. The first topic of the day. I know tonight we'll be having the reunion part one of the reunion for Real Housewives of Atlanta. I don't know if you ladies have caught any episodes this season. Yes, no, maybe.
Nah.
I watch it, but I haven't watched it this season. But I've been hearing a little bit of something about it.
So I don't know if you've ever watched any of the seasons prior to this season, but one of the original housewives who took several hiatuses and then came back is Shereé Whitfield. And in
Okay.
that time, everybody have always heard about the concept of her clothing line that she wanted to do, She by Shereé.
Oh yeah.
So this season, she came back to Housewives and she said she is going to finally do it. She, after 14 years of saying that she's going to start She by Shereé, she finally, the season last week, on last Sunday, it was a finale. On the finale big thing was her fashion show for She by Shereé. And her new thing now, instead of just doing fashion, she's going to do fitness fashion. So she's doing a lot of different fitness apparel that you can wear to the gym. So at the culmination of the episode, when they finished the fashion show, the big thing was at the end of the episode, She by Shereé online will go live in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and then everyone can start purchasing. But unfortunately, her fitness line didn't last very long online. What ended up happening that everyone saw was in the matter of within the day, this is the error that everyone started to see.
Mm.
And so if you can see that basically it says due to overwhelming support, let me read this to y'all if y'all can't see it. What it actually says is, dear fans, pardon our progress. It was a full house. Thank you for your overwhelming response. Though we could not accommodate all visitors, we are excited to refresh and relaunch very soon. Note, all existing orders will currently be filled. Stay tuned at Shereé Whitfield for upcoming info. So I'm gonna let y'all start by what do y'all think about her taking 14 years to come up with a fitness apparel line that only lasted online for about a day. And then I will get into one other thing that was a big why we have the title that we have. Go ahead, Jametrice.
What I did 14 years ago. I can't even believe it's been that long, but I do remember when she came out with She by Shereé. And I remember Dwight saying, who has a fashion show without fashion? So when
Dreadful.
she when she first tried to have her fashion show, she didn't have any fashion, but they said she did an awesome job this time. Unfortunately, the clothes that was on the runway wasn't the ones that was on her site.
Mm.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, she then got a vendor from basically probably somewhere in China. And just like most people do, they just slap their label on. And people, like you said, they was looking like Shein or Shein or whatever. So, all that money you had, and you was one of the first housewives to come on the scene, and you displayed fashions in your own attire. She was dressed. She was one of the best dressed housewives when they first started. And we didn't really get to see a lot of people like reality
Are we
TV
really
stars.
saying, or is that, are we saying that, or are we saying it's debatable?
Huh? It might be debatable, but I'm just saying
Yeah.
it might be because like when Nene first came on, she
All that
looked like
bad weed.
She's
well,
still
and then the
wearing
clothes
them.
looked like she had them from Rainbow. Like, so it was our first time seeing like, okay, like Deshaun Snow, she was married to Eric Snow. So you got to see their expensive ways or whatever the case may be. But I don't think her dress attire, but Shereé was, she had a bag, she had the car. So for you to basically produce some stuff from China, and you call yourself a fashion designer. A fashion designer is a person that come up with their own ideas. They very unique in style, and they go to have their samples made and they ship them off. You got money. You built that $1 million home. So how you don't have your ducks in a row? You know what I'm saying?
But
So
you
it's
also
just,
mentioned the home, and keep in mind though that home took a while to actually make it into the world.
and then too, right. And my thing is, you're not passionate about it, because a person that has access to money, access to people, access to you can buy your team, pay for a good team. The fact that it took you 14 years to come up with something that you just basically, it was still thrown together. How something get thrown together and it took you 14 years to do? So I don't think she's passionate about her business, her fashion, because you didn't take no time to create any type of fashions. And then for your website to crash, you didn't pay for the traction of your website. So you actually could have made a lot of money on your China outfits. You know what I mean? Because people were going to your website. Because that's where they got the stock clothes from. She went to China and got them clothes. So made in China. Know what I'm saying? But anywho, and you couldn't pay for the traction, so your website crashed. So the fact that you don't have your ducks in a row, this was your time to prove to the world, like, Shereé, and it was a cute name, and you still fumbled, you failed, like you fumbled the ball. So I just feel like we were rooting for you. We were all rooting for you. Like, we was waiting to see some fashions, and it sucks.
So before I get into your response, Kelly, that just brings up what Jametrice is talking about. This is some of the fashions that, and I will move that she had on her site. Let me remove this so y'all can see it. The left side is her fashion, which is $130 for that 2-piece.
Oh, hell
the
no.
right side is Shein, which I think had it for maybe $20, $30, something like that.
Mm-hmm.
Something like that. But they're saying the difference, there's really no difference other than the fact that she put a star on her chest for her fashion, which costs $130 more when I can go get it from Shein for $30. So that's kind of what Michi's mentioning when she said it had similar fashions to other lines. So go ahead. What are your thoughts on this?
Okay, can I just say I have not watched Desperate Housewives, Real Housewives since.
Well, her fashions was desperate, but go ahead.
Yeah, since Shereé was on that. I just remember her line, "Who gonna check me, boo?" That's my favorite. But what? But
I think it's the same season though.
Is it? I'm telling you, like I have not watched that stuff since forever. I think, was that the one light skinned girl that was married to the football player that got married to Keisha Knight Pullman? Like, that's how long it's been since I watched Desperate Housewives. Remember the one that Keisha?
Real Housewives, y'all. She don't mean Desperate Housewives.
I'm sorry. See, that's how much I watched the show. I mean, I catch like snippets of the Housewives of Potomac from Kendall Kyle. He'd be funny in the mofo. But anyways, when I did see the fashion show before, in that season, it was extremely underwhelming. So I was just, when she said she was opening a fashion line, to me, I didn't take it seriously. It was one of those things like everybody doing a fashion line. So here she is now doing a fashion line that's very underwhelming. Am I shocked that she's doing this? Nope, because most of the influencers out there do the same thing she's doing right now. It's like a cookie cutter thing that they do things like that. They get the low cost made clothes from China, and then they slap their name on it, or they have somebody else design it, and then they just slap their name on it. A lot of people do that. I thought, honestly, when you guys said that her site crashed, I just thought it just crashed. That meant that she had a lot of support, but I guess apparently you have to set that up to where a certain amount of people can go through there.
I think that she got a lot of support. I think that when you go to GoDaddy.com, now I don't know it's when you buy internet, you buy your internet, they have different packages. And if you buying a cheap service, and all that traction you got, your website couldn't handle it. Versus like a real site like Shein or Fashion Nova, they get all that traction every day. So your website was up, but the moment everybody started going on, it crashed because some people were able to get on.
Okay.
And then eventually people start seeing the crash. So I would assume that you didn't pay for a good you know, website.
Yeah. So I think it's just sad that it's such a money grab to go from 130. Can I just say I love Shein. I love me some Shein. I got some stuff, and I know people say about like the quality of it. My quality, I don't know what they be buying, but I got some good stuff from Shein, and I still got it to this day. So I ain't mad at no Shein fashions, especially because they cheap. I think it's very shady of her to charge $130 for her to slap a star on top of Shein stuff. That's mighty shady, and I'm surprised if she got a lawsuit coming. She'd have to be. I don't, and then also I see if she wanted to go that route. Granted, she probably wouldn't have made as much money, but I see people collaborate with Shein all the time. Why didn't she just like get her? Oh, you know what? I just answered my own question. Sorry, I was just gonna say, why didn't she just collaborate with Shein to get her fashions on there? But you can't collaborate with somebody that you stealing from. So I never mind.
Right.
I don't. It's interesting, and I'm be honest. I ain't surprised by it whatsoever. It don't make me feel no kind of way because a lot of those influencers do the same thing she doing. A lot of them companies. So. Sad.
Right. I mean, it's sad. The funniest thing about it is I would love to show the video, but you know, we ain't trying to have Bravo block our stuff.
Yeah.
But if you like Jametrice said, the biggest thing for a lot of people was the fact that when you watch the fashion show at the end of the season, the fashions on there didn't match the fashions on the show. So I don't know if it was that, because her whole big thing throughout the season kept being she didn't have the pieces. She didn't have the pieces. She said it was because they were coming from China. So she had to wait until, you know, she said one of her suppliers at one point in time promised her a certain amount of pieces and they couldn't deliver on that certain amount of pieces. And then at one point in time, she said she spent $1 million so far on this. And I mean, I don't see the $1 million. You can't, because if you got it from Shein, I'm pretty sure Shein cost you $30 per piece. So I really have no idea. But she kept making all these claims about how she did this, and this, and it just wasn't working. And the stuff you saw on that season finale, completely different stuff. Now, true enough, the stuff was cute. Would it be appropriate workout attire? Probably not, because a lot of it was like the skinny, like bathing suits that kind of cut down. I don't know who working out in that without a breast popping out at the gym. I don't know.
Us that don't have the boobs, Leo. Us that don't have none.
Listen, I don't have them either, but I remember that was one of the things that one of the housewives' husbands said. Well, I think it was Drew Sidora husband said. He was like, they do one rep and it's gonna come all out. And he said it during the fashion show, which he was right. So it was cute stuff. It was almost like that stuff you wear to the gym when you want to be cute, but you're not really working out. And so that's the kind of stuff. So it was really cute stuff. It didn't match. There's no way in the world that I think, other than somebody saying, I want to have something that has Shereé's name on it, that anybody would buy an outfit from her for $130 when I can get the same outfit for Shein from super, super cheap. And most people shop at Shein specifically because of the price. So if I'm looking at these two price points and I'm looking at an outfit that look like this, I'm getting the cheap one. Who knows that the one on the right didn't come from Shereé? You don't know that. Because there's really not that. There's not much difference.
Iron them feet out a little bit, put a little iron on them.
But you know what? The thing that gets me about it is that it's not almost to the T, like Shereé is almost like to T, like on the right, even with down to the barefoot feet, down to
you're talking about even the picture.
Yeah, even the picture she jocked off of. It's like you couldn't even come up with a different concept for how that was gonna look.
And that was the other big major claim that people who went on the website before it crashed said. They made comments that on her website the outfits looked wrinkled, and it was like she had them on wrinkled models on the website, and people was like the website was very underwhelming. And so they were saying, you made us wait for 14 years. Your website was only open. And the funny thing about it was her website crashing almost per point kind of like went along with people started saying, oh my God, it's like stuff we'd have seen on Shein. All of a sudden, that was around the time that her website crashed. So a lot of people were saying the crash was actually because people figured out that it was the same stuff. She's saying it's because there were so many people visiting the website
Probably
that that's what caused it to crash.
Probably to say, let me cross check it with Shein and see how much she purping. That could be whether it's good or
And
bad, but it's like
maybe people wasn't really gonna even buy it. Maybe they just wanted to see what was on there.
Just trolling. Because I was gonna say that
because we waited for 14 years, so
right.
I mean, you could say that, but at the same time, you could also make the argument that if you had, like Jametrice said, a legit web host, then that little bit of traffic should. Now, true enough, like I remember when Biden announced them student loan forgiveness, everybody was on the student aid website. Like me, I was trying to get on for 2 days. The difference was when I went on there, the website was still up. It just said due to overwhelming traffic, it may take longer for you to enter the website. Hers literally just shut down. That's a completely difference. So that's what makes me think that she still has the domain, but she put that picture up to try to pretend like, oh, it's so much traffic, it just shut down. Because your website can still stay active with a lot of traffic. It's just that unfortunately, what will happen is that it'll be moving very, very slow and the pictures won't load. But if people can't even get into anything but that one message, you stopped it.
That's true, right. Because then even I've seen like other bigger companies' websites crash per se, but what would happen is like maybe you put something in your cart, but then once you went there, it wasn't there, but you still be able to see the items, you still be able to peruse the whole pages and stuff. That's true. She was being cheap. All around. Because let's be clear, what do Shereé? What's her name? Shereé. What does she do outside of this, like as a regular job?
I don't think she has a regular job.
So she probably was cheaping out on a bunch of stuff.
Probably just still, you know what? My ex-husband probably have some investments, you know, because he's retired.
I don't think she does because they didn't have a favorable divorce, though. That was the thing.
Yeah, and then after that divorce,
he didn't want to give her nothing.
Well, yeah, but what I'm saying is she could have some investments from her money from the show because she got to keep up that house she built.
Well, here's the thing. Remember, that house took almost 14 years itself. That house took like 10 years to make. And so the thing was, that was the running joke this season, was that she never paid her bills because apparently she had an assistant on there this season that's now Drew Sidora's assistant that said she didn't pay them.
These and then names are killing me. Who is Drew Sidora?
Okay, you remember the TV show, The Game?
Yeah, sure. Okay.
When Darwin cheated on Melanie, the girl he cheated on her with.
Okay, I didn't watch that like that. I know Darwin and Melanie because I liked the couple episodes that I did see.
Right, he finally cheated on her. She's the girl who played T-Boz in the TLC movie.
Oh, Drew Sidora.
Yeah.
I ain't seen that one either.
But she's not on there much. She's not.
I don't know.
Yeah,
but that's the thing. Like they had their Sharon assistant, and then even so, they threw a party this season for Kenya and Marlo.
Okay, I know those.
And they were supposed to half the bill. Shereé and Drew were supposed to half the bill, but then Shereé refused to pay her for her half. So that's the thing. So the running joke was this season she don't pay her bills.
Yeah, I think she living beyond her means. It seemed like.
I think I heard the statement of the guy that made the samples. First of all, I think he said he only had. He made the samples, the one they seen on the episode on the runway. He made them like in a short limit of time, and then she didn't pay him, so he didn't release the samples to her.
So that's why her website has Shein fashion.
Allegedly.
Okay, we got it. So in other words, my final thoughts on that is just I don't know if I can support Shereé. I'm sorry. You can't take 14 years to bring something out and then still let it be trash. I'm sorry.
She could have had sketches. She could have showed sketches. That she
that's what she did. No. That's what she did the first time. That's
right, and that didn't work.
That is true. That is true.
With no fashion.
How dreadful. Right, he said there's fashion show with no fashion. How dreadful.
You can't come 14 years later with the same old sketches that we seen 14 years ago. You ain't getting no more chances from us. What in court? You ain't getting no more chances. Right. Over.
So we not with it. So